Hello there everybody, it's Shrouded Hand here. Today I'm going to be covering the coronavirus. I didn't actually think I was going to be covering this because honestly I've seen so many of these flu epidemics come and go. There's been swine flu, bird flu, SARS. Everyone was convinced the world was going to end when those outbreaks happened, and it didn't really come to anything. I mean, I know they probably killed a lot of people, but compared to malaria or regular influenza, it didn't really seem that much more dangerous, and that's kind of what people have been saying about coronavirus as well. But recently been quite a lot of stuff leaked out of China that's given me a bit more cause for concern, and I thought I'd cover some of these things here because the problem with coronavirus is there's a certain set of figures on how many have caught the virus and how many have died, and then there's another set of figures which are the ones that are being leaked by people who are actually in China, in Wuhan, the doctors that are treating the people, and a very different picture is coming to light. So I wanted to show some of these pictures, some of the videos, some of the information that's coming forward. Some of the images that are coming forward, they are like something out of Stephen King's The Stand, or a zombie movie, or a J.G. Ballard story. I talked briefly in my horror movie videos about how I liked J.G. Ballard and his descriptions of societal collapse. He actually, when he was a child, he lived in a prisoner of war camp, and he saw firsthand how even a small change in people's access to food, water and basic necessities can just change people's behaviour completely. And I think some of these videos are showing some of that collapse starting to happen now in China. I'm going to go through various sources. How accurate this information is, I can't verify, but I'm going to just present it as it's shown to me, and you can make your own mind up. This is a picture that's taken from a 4chan thread, and 4chan, take it with a pinch of salt, but there is timestamps. See, we've got these pictures here, sample image of Chinese if I can't say this word, decontamination room. You can see the picture that they've posted on their timestamp is fairly accurate. So I mean, if it's a fake, then they've done a good job faking it, that's all I'm saying. It says, I'm a lab technician at Huoshenshan Hospital in Wuhan. The situation is so much worse than you know. Reported death of coronavirus are just those of sudden type, not pneumonic. I guess that means people who got pneumonia. Daily removes pneumonic patients do not return. Whole sections of hospital, 200 rooms each, are not recorded. They are filed immediately with new pneumonic. Please know we are trying, but there is simply too much. So it seems like the number of deaths recorded is just those who have suddenly died in the streets, the ones they can't cover up. The people that get pneumonia from coronavirus are being taken away. Who knows what the number is? 200 rooms each. However many people are packed into each room, we don't know. If this is true, then, scary. How many deaths have there been of the people with pneumonia? How bad is the situation? Only guess by how many rooms empty each day. 200 to 400 a day. Army moves them out into vans and they do not return. This is like an apocalyptic nightmare. Do not believe what government says. 99% of pneumonic have left not to return. Army and party infected recover at much higher rate, administered by army doctors only. It could be fake. I mean, maybe they found a random image of a Chinese decontamination room and they've just photoshopped this in, but if it's a fake, it's a good one and scary to think of. We're going to look at some videos which show that perhaps this isn't as exaggerated as it might seem. Okay, so here's some evidence that they may be mass burning corpses from the dead. Let's have a look at BBC News. Let's see what they're reporting. First coronavirus death confirmed in Europe. This is what a figure I've got off the BBC website. The coronavirus has infected 64,000, let's say, with 1,381 of them dying. Now that's a lot of deaths to handle in one go in such a short space of time, but does it really require mass burning of bodies, which this could be? Coronavirus fears have been sparked yet again as a suspicious dense fog has engulfed the quarantined Wuhan area in China, prompting fears that infected bodies may be being cremated. And basically there's a website called windy.com and it tracks global fires, and it uses spaceborne sensors and it detects sulfur dioxide emission. And there was recently, over the course of 2 days, a massive spike in sulfur dioxide being released into the atmosphere from a random field outside Wuhan. And this was just after all these government officials started coming and rounding up people, and there was a procession of strange vans. People could be putting 2 and 2 together and making 5 here. If you look at data from other cities where there's a lot of sulfur being emitted into the atmosphere from cars and electricity being generated and things like that, there is nowhere near this concentration of sulfur dioxide being emitted in one place, according to this thread anyway. So whether that's true, whether it's just a scaremongering on 4chan, we don't know. But like I say, we're going to look at some videos in a bit. This is the first video that I saw that made me think, there's something more going on here. I'm going to just say I don't know the source of any of these videos, how genuine they are, but why we need a gun to fight the flu? I don't know. So well, here's another one. It's the same people now walking through the streets, supposedly of Wuhan, with automatic rifles and handguns. This is the main meat of the video here. I'm going to have a look at this thread on here called Coronavirus Video Collection. I'll put a link in the bottom to the thread because I think YouTube has some rules about showing things that are too graphic. So you can go and have a look at this yourself. Things like dead bodies and stuff. I don't want to be showing things like that just in case it's against YouTube's rules, but you can go and watch them yourself. The entire city of Wuhan has been quarantined and completely isolated, and this looks exactly like a scene I've seen in the TV adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand. These scenes here where you see the cars just lined up, just abandoned in the streets. Yeah, where you see the cars just piled up like this, and there's, look at that, just a van just blocking off the exits to the city. Yeah, so there's a lot of videos of people who've just collapsed in the street. They'd just be walking along and all of a sudden... Here's another one, looks like someone was just sort of standing at this counter here and just keeled over backwards. I probably can't show that one, it's a bit bloody. Here's another one of someone... just collapsed. And this is the thing that makes me think it might be a bit more dangerous than the other outbreaks that have been, because I don't remember any footage like this being leaked online. I'm sure there was footage of multiple dead bodies when there was the SARS outbreak, but I just don't remember this level. So here's a hospital hallway where it looks like they've stacked up the sick and the dying. I mean, even with, as BBC says, that 1,000 something dead, they'd be able to handle it. This is way more than that. So what I've heard, that's one of the nurses in a hospital treating the infected who just can't handle the stress anymore. Patient who had a fever in the Wuhan Red Cross hospital a few days ago, convulsing. People being rounded up in the streets by force. That's it, the officials just come, they round you up and they bundle you into the back of a van, and I guess we're never seen again. There's food shortages, there's panics. There's absolute panics in the supermarkets. This is what I mean about societal collapse. This is the sort of things, this is like the what you imagine the beginnings of the end times look like. Family members cry as their loved ones get bussed off to a coronavirus quarantine zone in Wuhan. More people being hunted down and dragged away. Bodies being taken away. I don't want to show anything too graphic, but if their bodies are covered by sheets, I think it's okay. This is if people aren't wearing their face masks. then they're being arrested, dragged away. Another one, someone not wearing their face mask. Here's one if you watch this lady here. I don't know how many of these videos of people collapsing are actually from coronavirus. Who knows? I mean, it could just be a drunk person falling over for all I know. It's just... There's a lot of these sort of videos coming out. People at the face mask production plant. It just reminds me of like a zombie film. All these people just pressing themselves up against the fence here, reaching through with their hands. Video of someone trying to escape a Chinese coronavirus quarantine room. Madness. Societal collapse. I'm telling you, it's coming. This is Russia. The black-clad decontamination guys, and what's that? Like a body inside some kind of plastic PVC pipe? Crazy. If there's a case of outbreak in an apartment building, they're basically just sealing off the whole building. They're just sealing people inside their apartments, and there's no way for them to get out or get any help. There's just, well, look at this. And it's not just they've sealed off the building to stop people getting in, there's actually footage of someone inside, and there's them like installing the... I don't know if that's shouting someone stuck inside. See, oh yeah, this is someone inside their apartment. They can open a door a little crack, maybe to get someone to fetch some food. Well, that's it, they're just sealed in and forgotten about. Absolutely terrifying idea. More videos of people collapsing. Queues for face masks. Someone else sealed inside their house. There's so many videos of people collapsed on the streets. These ones of people being forcefully detained are probably the scariest I've seen. Just dragged away from their families and bundled away into the back of vans. Get in the flu van. Oh, this is the one that I found possibly the most haunting of all of them. I think this is the people who were trapped inside their building, but it's just them calling for help. A guy being chased down by an angry mob in the streets because he said he was from Wuhan. Apparently this comes from Singapore. This is the queue for the face mask line, and I've got friends in Singapore, so my thoughts go out to them. There's just so many videos of people being dragged away, people collapsing in the street, and dead bodies piled up. I mean, there's just too many to show. There's so many videos of this, and this is just the stuff that gets out into the public. It just goes on and on. On and on and on. Look at this one. This is an office being disinfected. Thread just goes on and on and on. I can't see the one. Look at this. This is like something from Auschwitz, you know? It's people tied together, chained together, being dragged through the streets. There's too much to document here. I don't know if all this footage is of people with coronavirus. I don't know if it all comes from where they say it comes from. But on the other hand, what is this footage of if it's not of people suffering from coronavirus? Like, what situation occurred where they had to tie people together and march them through the streets like this? Oh yeah, I wanted to show this just briefly because this kind of shows the way that disinformation can be spread. This was doing around quite a lot recently. Bloody Undoomed.
Hey moron!
Wait, so there was a biological research lab with the exact same logo as the Umbrella Corporation right in the city where the coronavirus originated, and corona is an anagram for raccoon, only if you spell raccoon incorrectly. So apparently this has been doing arounds in the Resident Evil video games. There was a shady corporation that created all kind of biological weapons. Basically it was what created a zombie outbreak, but then they say like this is the picture from Wuhan where the coronavirus originated. I mean it should give you a hint here. It says Shanghai at the bottom there, but I just checked it out on Snopes. They've got a false on this. I don't believe everything on Snopes these days. They've gone a bit partisan, I think. But on cases like this, I still think they're quite good at fact-checking. The picture on the left does not show the logo for a biotech company in Wuhan. As one can infer from its name, it's located in Shanghai, not Wuhan. These two Chinese cities are approximately 500 miles away from one another. In short, the logo for the Umbrella Corporation is similar to the logo of the biotech company in China. However, this company, which no longer appears to be in operation, was not located in Wuhan, the Chinese city at the center of the coronavirus outbreak in 2020. I just wanted to show this because it kind of shows how you can take one image from somewhere and say it's associated with the coronavirus, and I just want you to bear that in mind when looking at some of these pictures. We don't know exactly where they came from, but there's just so many videos that I've got to say, can they all just be fakes? Can they all just be misinterpreted videos? I think there's just too many. I think the case is stacking up now that there's something else going on. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. I don't know whether it's panic stations yet. It's just, I think there's more going on than we're being told here. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.